They say is the most beautiful thing, but it is one of the most abused words. It has been misinterpreted by some, misunderstood by some, and even mistaken by some. And that is why on today's show, we are going to be talking about the struggles in purity, dating, and relationships. My name is Oluwakoinsola Olukoya, and it is time to meet my guest. On my right-hand side, I have
the Reverend Canon Charles Ogwoka
and Mrs. Oluchi Ogwoka.
On my right-hand side, I have
Mr. Olawale Paye.
Miss Abimbola Johnson.
I'm going to start with you, Miss Abimbola Johnson.
Wow.
Okay, so what is love to you? I'm talking about the love between man and woman, not the love between God and man, or the love between man and man, or woman and woman, or woman to child. I'm talking about the love between man and woman. What do you think love is?
Thanks for putting me on the spot first. I thought you were going to start with the elders on the panel. But yeah, I think love is like there's an affection between two people, and both of you, based on that affection, decide to stay together. I think that's pretty much love is. Not necessarily the butterflies, but the affection that is between two people.
Reverend Canon, what about you? What do you think love is?
As you said in your introduction, love is the most commonly used word, and such also it has been misunderstood and misinterpreted. It affects the definition also. Sometimes it's the two people that are involved that can actually define what they mean by saying "I love you." Bible says that God says God is love. Yes. So which could say that love is also God. However, within two people, as I said before, as the first guest said, it could be an understanding within two people that leads to an agreement. That understanding could be defined as affection, or intimacy, whatever it is, but I think there's understanding between two people. And once they have this understanding, they move on with it. Thank you.
Thank you. So my next question would be to Mrs. Oka. Since maturity is one of the prerequisites to enter a relationship, how mature should one be before going into a relationship? Is there any age restriction? Should it be okay from 15 years old you can have a boyfriend? From 16 years old, it's okay to have a girlfriend. It's okay to be in a relationship. What age can one qualify to be in a relationship?
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
The age of maturity depends on the individual. We all mature differently. We cannot just cut it and say 15, 16, 18. When someone at 20 has not even matured, and another person probably at 12 has matured. So it depends on individual. But I think you have to mature by yourself, on your own, before you enter into any relationship. Assess your ability yourself, by yourself. If you're really ready, then before you are talking about maturity before entering into relationship. Yes. Then I say that maturity has nothing to do with age. And I emphasize again that you look at yourself, not what others see. Maybe you have grown too big, you're a big girl, and you now say that you're mature. You might mature, yes, by your looks, but inside, nothing is really matured in you. So maturity is a personal thing, that before you enter into relationship, be able to, what I mean by maturing yourself, ability to handle yourself. If you are ripe enough within you, you know that you are in charge of yourself, you can control yourself, that means you're getting mature, then you can take off. Because entering into relationship, that is involving another person into your life. When you have not been able to handle yourself and you want to bring another person, you might not know how the level of that person's own maturity. So it's better that you are ripe enough. I'm not talking about age now, no age at all. Then you can enter into relationship. Thank you.
Okay, so she said that age should not be a prerequisite. Abi, do we all agree? Can 10-year-old go into a relationship, a 10-year-old that is mature. You know, we have children that are really mature. Like when they talk, it makes so much sense. I think, for instance, now a 15-year-old can talk with so much sense, and a 20-year-old, you start wondering, who is the older one? Is it this 15-year-old or this 20-year-old? So, do you agree with that? That age should not be regarded for? What is your thoughts on it? Yes.
All right. Coming from what she has said,
Yes.
I, for one, when it comes to the matter of majority, I try to categorize it into 5 parts.
Okay.
But I would like to do maybe like 4, mention those 5th part. So when you talk about majority, the question the individual should ask him or herself is this: emotionally, am I mature?
Okay.
Are you with me?
Okay.
Physically, am I mature? That's the, thirdly, you don't understand me. The physical part, it will be an abuse on someone that is not even up to the puberty stage. Do you understand what I'm saying? To be in a relationship. So that's the physical part. I mentioned the emotional part, the physical part. Now the financial part of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? The financial part of it. Are you stable? Are you mature in that aspect? What about the social part of it? Some people don't know how to be social. Please, are you with me? And the 5th part, which is the most important, is the mental part of it. Your mental ability goes far when we're talking about maturity. I wouldn't want to elaborate, but I'm very sure very important when it comes to that part.
So, do we all agree with that? Do we all agree with that? Okay, so we can move on. Alright, so this question is for you. You have been married for how long now?
For 21 years.
Wow. Wow. Respect. Alright, so what can you say is the key to sustaining a good relationship with your partner? What has helped you over these years, to sustain this good relationship?
Yeah, I like that question. I waited for 21 years now, married, but I had a long relationship or pursuit with my wife, of which, if added the years we recorded at the time of marriage, you marvel. We began that relationship in 1985, and I think before 85, I wedded in 1998, 40 years after. And that 40 years is not part of 41, if I added this at 5 years. Yes, I was 18 when I met her, and since then, I've been her all the way, 5 years now.
Wow.
Oh yes, that's correct. When we're talking about maturity,
Yes.
I think that was where as if you know, because I was 18 when I met her, and she was 14. We happened to attend the same school. While I was in class 4 to 5, she was entering to class 1. Then we used to have 5 classes, now we have 6. Okay, as a senior student, taking positions there in class 5. Some of you don't know what I'm talking about. But however, that was the situation then. Okay, I met her. Innocent and pure, young, everything, beautiful. My eyes are still beautiful, even more beautiful now. Okay, and the first thing I told her, the first meeting, that I want to marry you. That's the first posting. I was 18. I know the vision of what I needed in a woman, and I saw it in her, even though she was 14. But that doesn't continue 40 years after, and without immorality, without sex. I won't waited later 40 years after. She was still pure as in purity, and I met her like that. Because of that first promise, she had been with me at that age, even though maybe she didn't know, but she was mature to handle it. And we had done fellowships together, prayed together, time for university, school, and all that. Later we waited. I don't know if this place is good to say that we met ourselves for the first time after our wedding. Yes. And we'll be going. In that foundation we laid, I've seen us for 21 years in marriage. And we're still going. So asking the secret of sustaining good marriage is the foundation that was laid. We have known ourselves in and out for the first 14 years before we now went. So that we don't have anything to understand. There's something else, nothing new came up. Since then, nothing new has come up in our marriage, so that the things we knew before that period, and we'll be moving. And we're still moving.
Wow. We're speechless. I'm thinking on behalf of them, right? Are you not speechless? We are. So we are quite impressed. I would like to know more. So between a man and a woman, who should make more efforts to make the relationship work? In your relationship, who made most efforts? Was it equal, or there was just maybe it's your husband or it's the wife, that works harder to make sure that this relationship works? For 35 years, we're still together, and I put in more efforts.
Let me say that it is time by time. There are times he will be at the forefront to make it work. There are times I will not just want to understand. Yes. And as such, he will bear with me. There are times also that I will be the one to help. Okay? So it's not that we have divided it and say it must be you. It's just understanding. There are times that you know that this one I've tried. The other time he was the one that tried to make this. Then you too, you try and make this now. So I say it's turn by turn. That's how.
I want to add again, before the marriage started, to be true to myself, I give it to my wife now. Then, as a single, as a young man, I wanted to explore sometimes. But I think that she was the one that kept us for that 40 years. I give it to her, all this I give it to her. She determined not to. And she have to convince me to believe what she believed and not flow. Yes, that's the truth.
What do you think? Do you think the bulk of the work should be on the woman's part, or the man, to make the relationship work?
Well, I think considering the fact that the relationship is between two people,
Yes.
I think both of them have to do the work. I don't think any sex or any gender should be the one doing more work. And we can hear from the experience that Momi and Daddy shared.
Yes.
Both of them actually put in the work. All right, and I think that's it. It's not a matter of a woman doing something or a man doing something, but both of you need to agree, and both of you should actually put in the work. So that's my opinion.
Okay. So, what are the fun things you think people dating should do together so that it doesn't get boring at some point, so you don't get tired? What are the fun things you think they should do? This is to Mr. Ifaye first.
I think that's really tight because I'm trying to think about
The Lord will bring you out of the tight
Presently,
spot.
I'm not in a relationship, so it's kind of quite hard for me to tell in this time.
You've
But
never been in a relationship,
I
right?
have been, so I want to like take those dates on what was it that we. Number one thing was we make sure you guys know what the other person likes doing, right?
What the other person likes to do, you should know what.
You should know. And
Okay.
so you kind of like build your social life around that sphere. So
Okay.
it's not a matter of because everybody's going to cinema.
Okay.
Okay, let's go to cinema and have fun. I know people that would want to do Netflix. Yeah, just chill. That's what them.
But if the other person likes to go to the cinema and I don't like to go to the cinema,
That's where you have to compromise.
compromise.
Yeah, relationship. I can tell. They can tell a lot of things that they have to compromise.
Did you have to compromise anything, sir? He said you can tell. So
Yeah.
did you have to compromise anything to make your relationship work?
I wouldn't like to use the word compromise.
Oh, wow.
Then I rather use the word respect. When you're able to look differences, but no two persons are one but same. And why within the time of courtship, you're able to identify your differences and respect the other person's views.
So sorry, what I meant by compromise is this. You can't always have it your way all the time. So I'm not sure if that word was right, pardon me. But what I'm trying to say is learn to take in some things and allow some things to flow. So if as a person I don't like going to the cinema, and my other person, the partner, likes likes going. She's not the other person. Yeah, likes going. All right. I can, oh, let's do it. Let's do it for the sake of let's do it. That's what I meant.
Now, I think
And
that
if it comes to my part also, let's say, yeah, it's not like ah, I know they go, I'm not going, all the time.
okay.
That won't make sense.
Please,
Sorry,
Abimbola was about to
I
say.
just wanted to add something to it that I think for every relationship,
Yes.
right, the one thing that is important is communication, right? And if you do not communicate, all right, you can't know what your significant other likes. So using the same example of going to the cinemas or Netflix, right? It's in the place of communication that you would know, all right, okay, this is what you like, this is what you like, this is what you don't like, this is what you don't like. So I think for every relationship, communication is, you should communicate. It can be orally, it can be by text, find a means to communicate. And I think that is one major thing that, I will still go back to mommy's answer and daddy's answer. 14 years of just knowing yourselves. And I think the one thing that should have, because I've been thinking about it, now, what is the one thing that would have kept 14 years going? Because even mere 24 hours, you're bored. But I think when you communicate, so you even notice that there's a difference in you. Oh, I used to like this, I don't like it anymore. Simple communication. So I think that when you communicate in any relationship, it's very important.
All right. Thank you so very much. Okay, so I want to paint this scenario. It's a real life story. So my neighbor, a boyfriend at that time, so he came over to sleep over, and at night around 12, 1, 2, we'll be hearing this sound like generator. The man snores, like he used to snore a lot. As in, it was really disturbing. And at the end of the day, my neighbor did not marry him eventually. She did not get married to him, but I was now imagining, what if she had married him? She had married this kind of person, and every night, after the wedding night, because, they will not, probably they did not sleep over, they did not do any of those stuff. And after the wedding night, she now notices all of this, like, what is going to happen? She's going to be devastated. So I want to ask, do you think sleeping over at your partner's place will strengthen the ties between you and your partner, or help you see things that you don't like? Then you can say, okay, no, this is a red flag. I don't want it. I'm out of this relationship. What do you think about it?
Let me say here, capital note. I also have a story that happened last year. This is life also. The young man told the lady, I snore, see my stomach is big, that's my problem. It's a challenge. When I sleep, I snore like generator. The woman said, okay. And they are wedded now. And the woman accepted him the way he is. You don't need to sleep over. That's my daughter said, communication. You don't need to see things. The Bible says, blessed is the man who believes without seeing. That if there's communication and you decide to respect this partner, I can live with you. It says, I have a terminal disease or sickness that or occur yearly. It's okay, I can handle it. Let it come first. And you don't need to stay together for us to discover that.
But some of them don't say these things. You won't know until you probably get married to them before you start seeing these traits. So some people believe that when you move in with them, you sleep over, you stay with them at least for a while, you see these things, and it will help you note your red flags.
Let me just say that.
Okay.
How long will you sleep, and how many things will you notice? Okay, maybe you can sleep for 1 year, because every day something new will come. Every day something new. How long are you going to sleep there for you to notice everything before you make up your mind to go into marriage? There's no point going. If you decided that this is the man, after your prayers and after everything, you go in. Except for probably maybe sicknesses or these biological issues that do tests, run all those ones. Except that, how many days are you going to know? How many? Outside snoring, there's always even small thing now. What about other things that you discover? So when you discover, you run away. You come back, discover, you run away. Then you be discovering and be marrying everybody. Have you seen it? So So there's no point going to sleep over at all. It's not part of
So you don't support it at
it.
all?
At all.
It is not even supporting, it is wrong.
It's wrong. Why do you think it is wrong? Why is it wrong?
You see, that's the problem that your generation is having. That's why people are not married these days. Yes. Because the guy who have gotten everything he wanted, things that are meant for marriage, that are meant for married people, is it not when you're married that the woman will cook for you, you eat? Is it not when you're married that you have opportunities to somebody to wash your clothes and then you sleep with the person? But these are the things that the boys and girls of this generation are enjoying. Yeah, there is no proposal, except in the dream. So many issues are going on because people cannot just hold themselves. So when you have finished enjoying all those things that are meant for marriage, you don't need marriage again. There's no need. And you see people talking about mama, baby mama, all those rubbish. We didn't hear about those things before because the guy will be eager to have you after marriage. But now, those things that he's looking up to have after marriage, he's having them inside marriage. I mean, before marriage. It's the problem of this generation. It wasn't like that.
Talking about purity, purity is freedom. Talking about sexual purity is freedom from immorality, any form, freedom from it, contamination and other. So once you have, at that time we had a saying, issue is to contact, but don't contaminate. We have contact. I stay with my wife. Okay, I'll stay with my sister. Then, as we used to call ourselves then, but no contamination. But we have contact. Okay, because we don't want to remain in purity, being the watchword. But once you go beyond that and they contaminate, you start doing these things that married people do, and you're not married, and you're doing it. Then why don't you marry? You have done it, so you remain single and continue testing and testing microphone 1, 2.
Do you agree with them?
Well, actually, I do. When you asked that question, there was a verse of the scripture that actually just dropped in my spirit. When the Bible says that do not awaken love before time, right? And
Do not awaken
do not
love.
awaken love before it rises. Yeah, I think that's how NLT puts it.
What scripture is that?
I can't really, I think it's somewhere in Proverbs, but I can try and get it.
Actually, Songs of Solomon.
Songs of Solomon, yes.
Oh,
Do not
okay.
awaken love, right? And for me, when I see a question like this, sleeping over and spending the night, I ask myself a very simple question. Why are you sleeping over? What will happen when you sleep over? When you think about the possible things that may occur from sleeping over, there's this popular saying, right? So I can sleep over with in his house. There's no attraction. But once there's an attraction, right, you now begin to consciously hold yourself. Why do you want to be doing that in the middle of the night when you're meant to sleep peacefully? So in my opinion, there are certain things that you can prevent by not just sleeping over. Yes, there might be scenarios where you may be stranded. So let me give an example. And one thing I want to say is that there's no hard or fast rule. Like Daddy and Mommy said, there's no hard or fast rule. So there is no law that you may have a situation, maybe you're in a relationship with someone, he's in Lagos, you are from outside Lagos, and you need to do something in Lagos, and that is the only person that you know, for instance, because I know it has happened to someone. And she was literally stranded, and so she had to stay over in his house. But you know the funny thing is that she kept calling me almost every chatting.
An accountability partner.
Yes. So for me, I think if you can avoid it, because it leads to unnecessary things.
Let me also help you, please.
Yes, sir.
Those things are the tricks of the enemy. At times, God allow it to test your capacity. Even after I have married my wife traditionally, down there in the east, I moved to our wedding. She came to Lagos for us to prepare for our wedding, but not to my house. I have an elder sister. She went and stayed with her until she slept on my bed overnight after our wedding. Even though we are seeing every day, 6 o'clock I'm already in the place. 9 o'clock I've not gone. But we try as much as possible. In the scenario where someone travels to a new town and it's your partner, your I don't know what to call it now, that let him or her make effort to make sure that as you come, except get somewhere you sleep. So if you are cautious of it, my wife was cautious of after we did. and she put me through to it. We're talking about the issue of going to cinema or not. The two people can discuss and now discover that there's need for us to be going to cinema. And the person who don't love cinema before will not be the person that will be reminding the other one, so let us go to cinema. After, or vice versa, I told them, say there's no need. This cinema thing, what have I gained? And they will not go again when we communicate. You can't just pump on me from the east because I want to marry you. You just knock on my door by 9 p.m. I say, sister, no now. You have to go to the hotel to stay. Or if she insists on sleeping, I know that she's not mine because I want to eat this apple that God said we should not eat. And if I eat it, my eye will open.
Mr. Ikwai, it seems you have something to say.
Praise God.
Hallelujah.
Sorry. Yeah, praise God. While all was being said, I was just trying to be practical. I was putting myself in a state. I don't know, maybe you understand. It has not happened to me, but I'm trying to put myself in a
Trying to
state.
paint a scenario.
Yeah, in my head. Because I like when people talk from experience and practical this thing here. So if the lady should tell me that she wants to come sleep over, that's the question. Just because she's of the opinion that that's how she can get to know me better. My sister, truth is told, firstly, you must be in a relationship like minds. Someone that you guys know values and appreciate values. Someone that you guys have sat together, just as Nadia said, this is it. This is our boundaries. This is where I've been in a relationship. There's nothing to shy away from when it comes to life partner. You are there, we are not there. So when it comes to life partner, like minds, we sat down. Truth be told, we sat down. And she said it. I will never come to your house before marriage. Fine. Okay, we agreed on that. She comes again, talking about the Netflix. She's not a cinema person. She comes again some other days or months after, and she said, going forward, we would always have a timeout every Friday evening at our place to watch Netflix together. This is someone that is saying she cannot come to my place for some reasons. And when she comes up with that, all that was in my head was, bang, 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 bang.
Flag.
Red flag. No. I had to remind her of our values as a Christian brothers and sister. The Bible says, flee from all appearances of evil. See, attraction. There's no way.
And like you said, body is not fire.
I'm sorry. There would have been some things that I would have talked about. Yeah, well, I don't know.
We need to move on. All right.
Thank
So thank you. How long do you think Christian dating should last for? They dated for like 14 years. Do you think that is visible in this era, in this time? Dating somebody for 14 years or getting engaged to somebody for 14 years, turning the person to Lord of the Rings.
So
Do you agree?
I
Because
want to.
you know why?
Okay.
I was really shocked when they said they've been dating for 14 years before they got married at all. And if you look at what is happening now, if a man should propose to you for 14 years, it is very possible that he will not come back to marry you, or he might just disappoint you or something. So how long should a Christian relationship
So
be?
I had to jump on this first because off camera I was having a conversation with her.
Okay.
Number one, what were they exposed to when they were growing up? What background were they coming from when they were growing up? What was the norm in the society when they were coming up?
So how long should it last?
So now in this time and age,
Yes.
before you commit someone into something, I get what I'm saying? Be rest assured that you are really ready. And what I mean by you are really ready is that how long will it take for the preparation of marriage? And when we are talking about preparation of marriage, 1 year, 2 years. If you want to go to the east, come to the north. If meet parents, do all these things.
We established that you have to be mature before you enter a relationship,
yeah,
any
yeah.
kind of relationship. Does that maturity, you being ready to marry like in 2 years' time, does it have to be part of that maturity?
Yeah, financial maturity. You cannot want to put someone in your
like
house.
you said, financial maturity.
Financial maturity. You can't put someone in your house without having the capability.
So are we going to
Sorry,
agree
I'm
that?
coming. Please.
Are we going to agree that before you date, you should be looking at
When
marriage
we talk
in
about
2-3 years?
When we talk about dating, I think we should clarify this.
Okay.
I am of the opinion that dating, according to the world, do you understand, is totally out of it for Christians. Yeah.
Another angle.
Yeah, from that
We're
angle.
not leaving here today.
Okay, don't let us go to that angle. It's not even right for a Christian brother. Dating from that angle. Because, okay, Holy Spirit help me. When it comes to relationship, you're meant to be in a relationship with your friend, right? With your friend. That's what I mean. You're meant to be in a relationship with your friend. Yeah, you're meant to be in a relationship with your friend. So when you're talking about dating, babe, as daddy says, sister, let's leave sister. Sister, this is God's mind in regards to how I feel towards you. Daddy said it to mommy when she was
being
14.
practical?
Yeah, I'm being practical.
Okay, so Daddy, will you say that when you were together for 14 years, would you call that a dating phase, or you were just two friends, or you just told her your intentions and you continued to be friends, you did not date?
Well, as I said, we want to define what is dating here. I said if the actual sense of dating, then it's not for Christians. Then if it's not for Christians, then that is not what we're doing. Because that is what dating now, which we don't know that time, it was not applied. But she was not a friend, she was more than a friend. My sisters were my friends. Her classmates were my friends. But this was going to get married. We have agreed. And the relationship was different from the friends. Though we didn't do, I don't know what was my dating, I think that was dating because I've seen her already as my wife, and she has seen me as husband to be, even though we were young.
So what phase was that? In dating or courtship?
It's a relationship. If dating is, I don't know the definition of dating now. If dating involves having sex or knowing yourself sexually before marriage, before wedding, then that was not dating.
So what then is dating?
All right. So I think
It's about
I think that's the call.
it's about having sex.
All right.
If I say I'm dating with Mr. Oga, does that mean that we're in a sexual relationship?
All right. So let me clear then you know where I'm coming from. Before I gave my life to Christ, before I was committed, I used to be likewise with the world. When I mean likewise with the world, we do things the way the world is doing it. And then when it comes to I want to date you, I am offering you things, and I expect you to offer me things in return. And what you're offering me in return is what I desire to get back in return. So that's why you see, sorry to use this, that's why you see guys now spending money on ladies. I get it. They spend money on ladies, and what they want in return is their body, and they'll tell you that later. Mommy, there's no way in this world now that a guy will take care of a lady, take her out, buy this, buy that, in the world, in the world, and will not expect something.
But I disagree. I have no friends in my church. That's what they're taking it out of my body stuff and
Friends, right? Friends.
Okay. Okay.
I am not to buy Valentine friends. So let's
Okay, one thing that I want to clarify to us is that some of these things you are doing these days, or whatever baptismal name you're giving to them, has been existing even from the Bible days. It's not new. Like this Valentine now, thank God the reason was you want to buy gifts to your friends. That was what Valentine was in our time. Buying them cards.
chocolate, the one of hearts, the black heart, that's what we know. But many of us in our time didn't really believe the practices those some people would do that time. Because of our background is important. Who is this person? From which family? What has this person been doing? So maybe our cases will not fit in to some of your cases because we are Christian families, Christian homes, and later on we met in the school. We were a bit free. We can now start proposal of marriage. There are homes that are godly, that are husband, that the values. He helped us a lot to go beyond the other side. And that's why some of me have not done Valentine before. I have not wished anybody Valentine. I don't believe it and these practices. Personally, I don't want them to do it. Someone is telling me, be my vow. I don't understand it. I don't vow. Am I allowed to do it? And they work for me. And when we met, we shared us together. And in fact, she agrees with me too. That this other side of vow, if it's a celebration of love, we'll have so many things to celebrate about love. It should be every day. But if you must celebrate love, not about a Valentine man or woman who don't know the history about. So, and it's not, now as a priest, I took time to study Valentine as part of the program of the American Communion. We have Valentine Day. It's Valentine season. You have a season in the church according to our calendar. That's not. Unlike the Catholic Church that has it, and they always do service. But the practices that are out there, we do that. I don't know with it. I can't celebrate love wait for 14th of February to celebrate love with my wife. I have my idea of international marriage. I have to go with them with our wedding. I got many things to say. Not February 14th. Okay, just like that. So those things were there. You know, we decided not to. Just as the Bible says that Daniel, the of Thomas case, purpose in his heart. He purposes that before they find himself with the king's meat. And that will rather make a like by who agrees with me. How we move. And then we'll have to get that 5 years after.
Okay, so I have a question. Now, is sexual purity possible? Is it realistic during dating/courtship phase during these times? Like, is it possible? You know, they confirmed that they were able to do it. It was possible for them. But during this age and time, do you think it's possible? Is it something that is realistic?
With capital letter Y, with capital letter E, with capital letter S. Yes, it is possible. Why? And the reason I'm going to say, well,
How can you achieve this?
how? We said something up and we said how that your foundation, how you're being brought up. See, when I was growing up, there was one thing my mom told me. She said the moment a man touches you like this, you're pregnant. And so even though now that I'm older, I know that a man can touch me like this and I will get pregnant. But because that was what I always heard from my mom, before a man don't touch me. So for me, I think it is very possible, and it's good that we're having a forum like this, so that regardless of what you hear outside, right now you go on Instagram, you go on Facebook, people are telling you it is not possible. But the more you have people telling you that it is possible, and how is it possible? Don't even encourage it. He said something, flee all appearances. What are the appearances? We all know our body types. So you know your spots that can trigger a kind of reaction. See, I said something, right? I look at daddy and mommy today, and they said, see, that 14 years, forget marriage, 14 years of knowing yourselves, a lot can happen. But the truth of the matter is, because you have defined what you want out of that relationship, you will now know how not to go against your decision. So if I've decided to go into a relationship with my brother here, and we have said it, we are remaining sexually pure till marriage. It means that we're going to avoid everything that can possibly lead to it. So to answer that question briefly, yes, you can maintain sexual purity in 2021.
So can Mr. Ikoya, what do you think? We have to ask you.
I had to laugh when Daddy was like, ask him. Okay. Capital Y-E-S.
Same reason that we
See, I said the other time,
Okay.
practical. Okay? If it is not happening, we will not say it's not possible. We know, we see. Some of us are there.
So can non-virgins practice sexual purity?
Definitely. Okay, sorry. I was watching a movie yesterday. It was about magic. And the magician came out after everything has been done. And he said, magic is about perception. What you see is what you get. Do you understand? So when you talk about a non-virgin person, right? Can she practice sexual purity in marriage? What's the cause of this virgin, or what do they call it now? What's the cause of that thing? Was it intentional? Was it out of pressure? Some were raped.
So I'm talking about the one that was
So-
intentional before. Then she just decided.
Yeah.
Can I still practice sexual
Okay.
purity, or am I condemned?
Let me now go in a way like this. When I was in the ward, I made the decision that I'm no more drinking alcohol. I never gave my life to Christ. I stopped drinking alcohol. Do you understand? This has nothing to do with born again or Christianity. It has a lot to do with decision, values. Do you understand what I'm saying? If a non-virgin should sit herself down, think about what is right for her life, make a decision. This is my stand. So help me God. Put everything in place. My sister.
So it's very possible.
Very.
So daddy,
And let me also add here that there is a lot of deceit going on in this wicked world. See, most people that are saying that there is no need for virginity, keeping it and purity, if you search, they are virgins. They go a long way deceiving people, other people, innocent children, and themselves they are keeping them. I know I'm a teacher by the grace of God, and I have so many children that I interact with. Many people are virgins, many, even young men. People that have potentials in this world. Go and read their history. But you see, there's this thing about the world, as if it is everywhere. There are still beautiful virgins. There are, yes, that have decided, like you said, it's just a matter of decision. You just tell yourself, I have not come to this world because of that man. Did God create me because of one man, for God's sake? Don't I have my own reason for being? There's a priest that came to marry me. I told him that I will not marry you. Even though you are a priest, you are not born again. When I was growing up, he was surprised. I say, you want to marry me, but me, I don't want to marry you. That I have things that I want to do with my life. So girls should have sense. You shouldn't just come and live your life for one man like that. You should live your life for yourself. In my school, we say, be the girl that a man wants. Don't be the girl that wants a man. For God's sake, live your own life first. Keep your purity. You are the one that will be happy with this all the days of your life. A lot of things are in marriage. That with that testimony alone, you can always live with your shoulder high, anywhere, any day. Your husband cannot, there's nothing he can do about it. It is your pride. You understand?
Yes,
It
ma'am.
is your record. So you have to keep it and maintain it even to the end. So I don't agree that people that talk about it, it is not true. They talk about it, but they still keep themselves pure before God. So let us not be deceived. There are still virgins.
So what about non-virgins that want to now start the sexual purity thing? Is it possible for them, or are they condemned? Is it
Very
over for them?
possible.
Possible. That's where repentance comes in. As my brother was saying, my son, that we have to find out the reason behind or why and how they are no longer virgins. But you said somebody who has done it consciously. Yes, most of the made women today are those that have been bruised, broken, and they're not come out strong. Okay, so at the point in time of a lady now said, what have I done? I shouldn't have lost, lost my virginity. But henceforth, oh Lord, help me to pick up my pieces. And they says, this man that wants to marry me, Tony, even if we cut for 100 years, boy, this side is not going. I made a mistake, but not again. I trusted John. He had it and dumped me. Now henceforth, any other person will be after wedding. And it can go for 20 years or more, and she will not do it again. The women have that capacity, and we have many testimonies about on that.
All right. So, in conclusion, do you have any other thing to say to add to what we've been discussing since?
Well, I think what I would just say in conclusion is the purpose of why you're getting together is very important. So before you get into any relationship, you should know why you are there. Because the reason why you are there will affect the decisions that you will take. So if you know that there is an end in sight, marriage, and the truth is that should be the reason why you're actually together with anybody. I don't think you should be together with anybody because body they do you anyhow. You actually should be in a relationship because the end is, in my opinion, and it's biblical. You should be together because you are ending towards the altar, and that should inform the decisions that you will take in your relationship.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ikpaye.
All right. Basically, for me, I encourage young guys. I am not really into the show. Young guys that find yourself first. Find yourself first. And you can only find yourself when you are alone. Find yourself. Many of us does not even have a purpose for living. You want to bring another person into your life. It's just like somebody bringing bike and telling someone, open, without you knowing where you are going. Abokis, if they don't know where they are going, you now be asking them, oh, that's what you don't know before. Are we going to turn back? So as just said, the essence for relationship is towards a goal. For me, the essence of relationship, marriage, is for purpose fulfillment. That the wife will be an helper to whatever purpose that the husband is meant to fulfill here on earth. The husband will be an helper, a strength to the woman for whatever purpose that she also is meant to fulfill on earth. Find yourself first as a single person.
All right, thank you so very much. So to wrap up the show, we'll be talking about do's and don'ts of a Christian relationship. We are each going to say one do's and one don'ts of a Christian relationship. I'll start. And when I start, I'm going to go to my right. From there, we'll go to our left. All right, so do make sure to talk about everything and anything. Communication is very important. Do not be in a rush. Take your time. Like Mr. Ikpaye has said, find yourself, develop yourself before you decide to bring another person into a relationship. Mr. Ikpaye, next.
All right. The secret to whatever it is that I've enjoyed in relationship.
Do's and don'ts.
Yeah, I want to give you one do's. Do not keep secret.
Do not keep secrets.
Be open. Yeah.
Do's.
Do's. Pray together. Yeah.
Do pray together.
Yeah, pray
Okay.
together, yeah.
Next person.
Do's.
Yes.
Have a relationship together with God.
Do have a relationship together
As a unit
with God.
with God.
As a unit with
Yes.
God. Don't.
Yes. For any relationship, don't go to bed angry.
Don't go to bed
Don't go
angry.
to bed angry. And even if it's not marriage, but don't allow any situation go on for long. Always deal with an issue right on the spot.
Before you
Yes.
sleep.
Yes.
Okay, sir. What about you, sir? Do's and don'ts.
Yeah. Do's. To yourself, be true. As my son said, discover yourself, identify yourself. Just be true to yourself and always say the truth. If you always say the truth, you don't need to remember anything. That's one benefit about truth. If I always tell you the truth, if you meet me tomorrow again, I'll tell you the truth. But if I have lied to you, and I see you come and I say, what did I tell her that was my name? Okay. But if I tell you the truth that my name is Charles, you ask me again, even if I'm sleeping, I wake up and I say, my name is
Just
Charles, not Collins. Okay. And don't. Do's or don'ts. I hate lies.
Don't lie.
Hey, that is what has been keeping us all these years.
Honesty.
It's a ton of.
Okay, mommy, what about you?
Yes, I think we are having the same understanding about discovering yourself.
Okay.
It's so important. Know yourself. Try to discover yourself before you enter into anything. Just tell yourself that you're living for a purpose. Don't be carried away by anything you see. And then when you enter into relationship, still don't be in a haste. Don't be too much in a haste to pass judgment, and conclude and write off unnecessary. Just don't be in a haste in a relationship. Give it time. Build it. Those things that you desire that you did not get at the early stage, if you're consistent with prayers, believing God, and already you have built yourself, you will get them. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you for coming on the show. We sure had a swell time. We learned one or two things, and did you enjoy yourself? Right. So thank you so very much for watching. Thank you for joining us. Please leave comments in the comment section. Join the conversation. Make sure to follow us on all our social media platforms. It's showing on your screen right now. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.